To the Thinking Pot with Channing and Camden. This is a new show where we're just gonna dive into crazy theories and what are they called when it's just like not a real thing, a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Hypotheticals that we just were doing off camera. So we're like, well, let's make a podcast about it, and then we can use these clips and see what people think. So, Channing, why don't you introduce yourself to the crowd?
I'm Channing Beckhouse, and
You do some computer stuff.
Yeah.
He codes a little bit. The professional coder, the
Yep.
multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
You're how old?
12.
He's 12, I'm 21. So it's a little bit about us. I'm Camden. I have another podcast. I have like 4 shows going on right now. Crossroads with Cam. That's a show about life and the journey of faith. I got No Filter Gen Z, which is on Patriot TV. And now we got this one. So let's just get right into what we were talking about off camera. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's do the 100. Well, let's start with.
Get a little closer so they can hear you better.
What was it called?
The 100?
The
100? What are you talking
What
about?
was it called?
Which one?
The first one.
The one we were talking about outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause you're.
So I have one opinion and he has another opinion on the same thing. So let me just say what I think. So if you were to take every human on Earth, every
Yes.
person, and snap and suddenly half disappears, like Infinity War, Avengers, when half of the Avengers disappear. If you were to do that, would half of every family disappear?
No.
Tell me why not. Because I think they would. Since I think on average, about half of every
There's
group...
no average.
About half of every group would disappear.
Average is not. There's no average, it's random.
No, but there has to be some kind of number that disappears.
Yeah, it's random.
So on average, how many would disappear from each family?
Random is.
About half.
Do you know what random is?
Well, we're taking half of the world.
Yeah.
So that means half of every group.
Yeah.
So you have a football team, half will disappear.
No.
A family,
No,
half will
that's not
disappear.
right.
Why is that not right?
Because it's random.
I don't know if there's a name for this theory or if anybody else has ever talked about this, but we just randomly thought about it. How many people disappear? Okay, we have 8 people in our family. We have 4 siblings because I have 5. There's 6 of us and 2 parents, so 8 people.
In the whole world.
No, there's not 8 people in the whole world.
No, no, like
8 in
everybody
our
else.
family.
And you split the whole world.
And you snap and half the world disappears. Probably 4 people from our
Why?
family.
Explain it.
Me?
Yeah.
Because
Why do you think that?
Because we're taking half of every person, right?
Yeah.
Not like
No,
half.
No, half of the. How many people there are?
We're taking half of the number, the population. We're taking half the population, which means half of every group of people.
No.
One group of people is Americans, so half of America would disappear. Another group is our family. Half of our family would disappear, on average. It might be 3.
But why would it be on average?
Because we're taking half of everybody. So it might be 3 instead
No,
of 4,
it's just,
but
it's random on every
okay,
house.
I'll use a different word if you don't like the word average. About 3 or 4 people would disappear from our house, right?
Why?
Because we're taking half of the world.
But
So-
it's taking half of the world,
So
not
about
half
3
of
or-
every house. Not splitting every house. It's
So
just
what would
splitting the
happen?
world.
What would happen to every house? We have 8
It'd
people.
be a random number that disappears.
So how much would disappear from our house? You said earlier. About
3 or something. I don't know.
about 3, which
It
means
could be 1, 2, 3, 4,
so
5,
3
6,
is
7,
almost
8.
half. 4 is half of 8. So about 3 is almost half. So on average, about
No,
half.
that was just my guess because it's random, so I just guessed a random number.
Yeah, but this is random. The snap is random.
Yeah.
Just random
random
people everywhere.
Every
like
every person.
white people, black
Every
people,
person has-
Asians.
Okay. Yeah, every person. Yeah,
Every
yeah.
person.
It's 50%.
1-leg people, 2-leg people.
I know. We don't need to talk about that.
Every single person.
Yeah, every kind of person.
Yes. Okay.
Every person, every single person has.
No, not. But you could be married and still disappear. Not every single person. Every person. Period. Every person.
No, just every like.
No. Also married.
Okay, so every individual person
Yes.
has a 50% chance to disappear.
How many people have a family out of the population of the world?
Doesn't matter.
Everybody, right?
Yeah, everybody's family.
Everybody comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
So everyone has a mom. Or has had a mom.
How does having a mom have anything to do with splitting a house?
Because it's a family. So if you live with your mom like we do, then that equalates, is that a word? More people to the house, which means half the house will disappear.
No. It's just individual people, not a group.
So we asked ChatGPT this, and we just wanted to know what they thought, since ChatGPT knows everything. Chappy.
Chat.
We like to call it Chappy.
Yeah,
Chappy.
ChatGPT.
I've seen the movie Chappie. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about some movies on
Yes,
here too,
yes,
and some theories about movies like Inception, what happened at the end of
Yes,
Inception,
yeah.
because no one really knows. But what was it? Oh, ChatGPT. We asked it this question. I never started recording on the audio in here.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry.
What? I'm going to say all that again. We can't talk about. I already proved it.
Should we just use this part without the mic audio and now have it?
What?
Is it bad without the microphone audio?
Was it?
I have it recording here, but not on the audio, the
So
microphone.
it's just no sound.
No, it's just that sound.
It's probably bad sound.
So should we just keep it? Or restart? So, sorry about the audio in the beginning. We got the mic working. I didn't even realize it wasn't working. So you might barely hear Channing this whole first part because, you know,
I'm not.
but if there's no microphone, then it's coming from there. Anyway, we got the mic on.
Yes.
What I was saying is we asked ChatGPT this question, and what did it say?
It said that you did it. Just ask it right now.
It basically. Oh, you want me to ask you now?
Yeah.
All right, let's ask you now. Do you prefer Snapchat? Chat GPT. Okay.
The app.
Chat.
GPT.
Or we like to call it Chappy TT.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
All right. Hey, Chat GPT. It's Camden here with my brother Channing. We're filming a podcast, The Thinking Pot, and we have a question we want to know your answer about. If you took the entire human population and I snapped my fingers and half of the population suddenly disappeared at random, would every household lose half of its members? This is the answer. Hi, Camden. If you snapped your fingers and half of the human population disappeared at random, it wouldn't necessarily mean that every household would lose exactly half of its members. The distribution of people disappearing would be random. So while many households would lose members, the exact number and proportions lost by each household would vary. Some households might lose all their members, while others might lose just none or just a few.
Yeah.
So the randomness means there wouldn't be a uniform effect on every household. Okay, but that's only... Okay, but let me ask it. In what situation of people, and what congregation of people, groups of people, would this be true where about half disappears? Question mark. Let's see what it says now. For a situation where half of the members of every group or household disappear, the distribution would need to be highly organized or structured. Here are a few hypothetical situations. Uniform groups. So everyone wearing uniform. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone was divided into groups where each group had an equal number of people. Then half of its members would be lost. If people were organized into groups of 10 and half the entire population disappeared randomly, each group might end up with exactly 5 members. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
Because the majority of humans have families. Most.
Yeah. But they don't all have 10.
But they all might have they might all have an even number though. Probably not. But
no.
But what do you think? Half the population of families has even number of family?
No.
You don't think about half has an even number of families?
It could be, but there's 2 people. There's 2 families. How would? Oh my gosh.
I can't answer this because I have to read the rest. But so you don't think that half of the human population has even families and half has odd? You think there's more odd than even, or more even than odd? Or do you think it's half and half? About.
I can't answer that because there's so many families in the world.
Okay, well, let's say that it is about half even. If you take all the even, then and snap your fingers,
They would probably.
then probably half of every even family would disappear.
Yeah.
And probably not that much different from odd, except by a number or two. So it's gonna be
No.
about half either way.
No.
So the second thing says identical households. If every household had the exact same number, isn't that the same thing? Controlled experimental conditions, which is dumb. How does the law of big numbers apply to this situation? Because I asked this earlier about the law of large numbers, and it said that in large populations, it would be like that. Like, for example, what was an example I said? America. Half of America would probably disappear.
That's true.
This says, when I asked it just now, for very large populations, the law of large numbers suggests that the proportion of households losing roughly half their members would become more predictable as the sample size increases. So as the more people are in the pot, the thinking pot,
The more half of
then the
every
more
house.
half of every house. So what if we had 1,000 people in a house? Then about 500 would disappear. So I'm right.
But I'm right about the smaller ones. Because if it's smaller, then it's just random.
So I guess we're both right in our different ways. But most families have about 1,000 people living in the house.
Yeah.
No.
No.
He said yeah.
What are you talking about?
He said yeah. No, they don't. So
No.
you're right with households.
Yes.
But groups of people, what if you had 10 families or 100 families and grouped them all in one big house? Would half of those people disappear? Say we have 100 families and there's just a random number in each family. And we take all the 100 families and put them in one big house, a big mansion, 100 families. So there's a bunch of people in there. And we snap the fingers and half the world disappeared. Would half of every family in that big house disappear?
Wait, so how many people in
We're going to take 100 different families of all different amounts. 10 kids, 5 kids, 3 kids, whatever. And we put them all in this big mansion.
It doesn't matter the house. It doesn't matter.
Do you think that each family would lose half the members if they're in this big house?
Yeah, because there's a lot of... You said there's a lot of people.
Yeah. But that means that half of the mansion would disappear by large numbers. But what I'm asking you is, would half of every family in the big mansion disappear? Like,
I think so.
Like, what if we moved into the mansion of our 8-person family? Would half of us disappear if we snapped our fingers?
I don't know, because it wouldn't change if we moved in that mansion.
Yes, because we're joining the big group of people of the 100 families.
But it doesn't... we don't, like...
So what would happen?
Change...
If we moved in, what would happen?
Either way, if we didn't move in and all that other stuff still existed, our family would probably be split in half. Because how many people?
So with 8 people, we would be split in half. So now you're reversing your original thought. What changed in your thinking, bud?
Because you said there's a lot of people.
There's a big mansion we're living in now with 100 different families. By definition of the law of large numbers, about half of the people living in the mansion would disappear.
Yeah, half of the people in the mansion. Yeah, that's it.
But what I'm asking you is, would half of every family living in the mansion disappear?
No.
Why not? If we're all in the big mansion.
Okay, so half of the mansion would probably disappear.
But why would not half of every family living in the mansion disappear?
Because with smaller numbers, it's more random. Because, like, 8 people...
Why is it more random? I thought you said there was no randomness. Or you said there's no average?
I said there is randomness.
Okay.
ChatGPT said that in the larger amounts, then it would probably... The higher the chance would be of, like, half of every...
Let me riddle you this. Riddle me this.
So,
What if the only people disappearing were the people in this big mansion? Say there's 100 families, like I said, and they're all different numbers. So there's probably about 1,000 people in this big mansion.
yeah.
If the only people disappearing by the snap are the people in this mansion, would half of every family in the mansion disappear?
No.
They wouldn't?
No.
So-
Wait. How many people...
There's 100 families in the mansion, and all different numbers of family.
All different numbers?
Like 4 kids, some have 8 kids, some have 2 kids. They're all different, but we're all 100 families living in this big mansion, and the only people disappearing are half of the people in the mansion. would half of every family disappear as well?
No.
Why? So you think it would just randomly take half of the families?
No.
It would take all the members of half of the families? If it wouldn't take half of every family, that means you think that it would take half of the families, not half of every family.
It would take half of families because they're all in one big group in the house.
So you think it would take half of the 4-person kids, half of...
No.
So you think it would only... It would just take randomly 50 families? Like what if you had 50 blue... Okay, what if you had 50 blue shirt families and 50 red shirt families?
Yeah.
So there's 100 families, different amounts. 50 of the families, which means there's more than 50 people with blue shirts, but 50 of the families have blue shirts and 50 of the families have red shirts in this mansion. And I snapped and half of them disappeared. You think that only all the red shirts would just disappear? No way. There's no way. It doesn't see color.
It's like impossible. It's just not.
You don't think that it would be half of every family that disappears? Like the 4 kids, 2 of them would disappear. The 8 kids, 4 of them would disappear from each side? What do you think?
Well, you said there was probably like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
With the
with the different
families.
With 100 families
in
different amounts, so probably 1,000 people.
Yeah. Maybe more.
So I'll give you the last word. What happens in this 1,000 person mansion with 100 families, red shirts, blue shirts, split in half?
So I think that. Wait, so the mansion has how many?
100 families.
100 families.
50 red shirts, 50 blue shirts. Families.
50 of the families all have red shirts and blue shirts.
Mm-hmm. So what happens in your opinion? Whatever you want. Because I said what I think. Now you say what you think.
I don't think half of every if the people with 2 kids, I don't think one of them would disappear.
So what would happen?
It would be random.
Just random people.
I think
only the parents.
So 100. I think.
You think only the parents would disappear?
No. I think 50 of the families would disappear in the mansion.
So you're grouping the families together. You think all the red shirts will disappear and none of the blue shirts?
I think on average that would happen.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Yeah. And we'll just leave it at that and see what they think. Comment what your theory is on just the overall question as well as the mansion question. And we'll answer your question, your feedback if you do comment, because this is the first episode. I don't know who's watching this.
Yeah.
But if you are, or if you're on TikTok watching, then comment below. Let us know what you think. See you in the next episode. Peace.